Hello everyone, Scott here for this week's edition of the Pillow Talk podcast, and I'm doing a live interview today. Super exciting for me. I've been meant to do this for a long time, but this week the time is right. I am here with one of our fantastic team members at Pillow Partners, Maria, and some cool developments happening with Maria over the last week. So the time is now right to get her on, share her story, and I bet you will find it inspiring. So I'm going to pass over to you as always to do an introduction. Maria, give us a brief introduction.
I came to Scotland almost a year ago to do my master's. I was enrolled in the Digital Marketing and Management Master's program at Strathclyde. It's known to be one of the most prestigious schools, business schools here in the UK. So I was quite happy that I got in. It was pretty exciting for me when I was in Pakistan that I got a Strathclyde Business School Master's Scholarship. It was for a great £9,000 scholarship for me. It's one of the highest that they offer to international students as well. So I was way too excited. However, just before that, it was never my plan to go to the UK. I was quite happy in what I was doing back in Pakistan, but at the same time, I did wanted some career development and just able to learn more and have more of a global exposure, I would say. Um, and just forward to that, I came here to the UK not knowing a single person at all. Just didn't know. I don't know how I made myself from the airport to my university and then to my accommodation. But it's been a year and it's been a great ride. I've met some great people, um, part of a very nice company, and overall, it's been a great experience for me.
Super. So a few things I want to tease out of that, a few questions. Guys, if you're watching live, please fire some questions or comments in as we go through, and I'll bring them onto the screen. If you're watching a replay, then get in touch with myself or Maria. So a few things. You had the choice to come from Pakistan and pretty much go anywhere in the world. Your world was your oyster. Firstly, like, why the UK, and then more specifically, why Glasgow of all places?
I was just looking at different business schools and their repute overall and what exactly did they offer. There were very less universities that offered a master's program in digital marketing or something that has to relate with e-commerce or something like that. Because I had a background in e-commerce marketing and overall fashion marketing as well. So I wanted to just pursue my career and excel in that field as well. I stumbled upon Strathclyde, and they had the exact kind of program that I wanted to do. But I was also considering Canada at the time. My mom thought Canada was too far from Pakistan. I said UK is not like the next stop as well. It's pretty far as well, but it's just I think it's a general impression that UK is more closer as compared to Canada or maybe Australia in general. But it was more, but exactly the foremost reason for me coming to Scotland and to Glasgow was my university in particular and the program that they offered. And the cherry on the top for me was a scholarship that they offered me, and that really helped me just align all of my resources and just plan anything and come over here. Also, while I was researching about the city, it did say that Glaswegians were the most friendly people in here. So I was like, it's okay. I don't know anybody, but people are friendly. So I think I'll make through the whole thing.
Nice. Then I hear you say you did fashion marketing before.
Yes.
So, is it true that the reason you came here is you wanted to learn about business and fashion? And someone that knows about business and fashion is me. And you saw my social media with my shoes and my dog socks, and thought I could learn about business, but also the UK's most stylish entrepreneur can also teach me about fashion.
I mean,
Was
I
that
think
true?
it did come as a surprise. I came into a property business, but then I saw your style and your shoes, and was like, I can put my knowledge into that as well.
That may or may not be accurate. Now, I want to go over to the scholarship thing, because I hear this in America all the time. Watching films, not something I hear a lot of in the UK, but to me, scholarships. People get a sports scholarship in America. They could be really not care about education, but they get into good universities because they're good at a sport, and that gets or poverty or gets them a scholarship. How did your scholarship come about? And tell us a little bit more about that. They fund the university. Is it the university here that funds it, or a scholarship from over in Pakistan?
No, that's a scholarship that is particularly given by the Strathclyde Business School to international students in general. So, but their threshold for giving out scholarships is something between 2,500 to £3,000. I was rejected for that scholarship at first, but then I was like, if I don't get a scholarship, there's no way I could, because I'm self-funding myself for this master's program. So I thought there was no way that I could just pay that amount. So just in, thank you so much, Bobby. So
Tech stuff happening behind the scenes there.
Just in general, I then wrote them another letter requesting them and just showing that how my previous work experience was so relevant to this degree, and how this degree could add an overall value, and then how could I extend that value while staying in Glasgow and working within the whole e-commerce scene or just the digital marketing platforms in general. And when they saw my CV and things that I've done back in Pakistan, and saw that there was such a close relevance between my degree and my work experience, I think that was, I would want to say that that was the reason that they extended me that scholarship, or could, and it could be that I was just plain lucky about it.
Well, I think we create our own luck, don't we? Definitely create our own luck. So now in Scotland we get university tuition for free, so we're very lucky here. So to get a scholarship, I didn't even know they did that, because one of the things, the very limited things I know about education is, if it's not free, guys, it's taxpayer funded. So it's taxpayer supported. But universities here, especially in Glasgow, make multiples more from overseas students, different markets, definitely in Glasgow. They make multiples more than what they would get the funding from the government or taxpayers. So to get a subsidy and a scholarship is fantastic. Moving on to that degree, so you did a little bit of fashion. I've obviously taught you lots more here, but tell us about the degree, because I said at the start I wanted to do this and share Maria's story, but you had some good news last week. Tell us about that. What's happened?
I've got a distinction in my master's degree.
Well done. So a distinction, not just a master's degree. And I've done a master's degree. English is my first language, or second language if it's Scottish. But essentially, I studied in the place that I was comfortable, that I literally was round the corner from the university, and it was much easier. English is not your first language, so you're getting a distinction when other people, probably from Glasgow, didn't get distinctions, and you had to master that language of English to do it. That definitely wasn't in Pakistani, it was in English. So doubly as hard, I would imagine.
I mean, when I was in Pakistan, I did think that I spoke English quite well, and then I was quite fluent in that. But then I came to Glasgow, and I mean, for the first 3 months, I couldn't understand everything. I just used to nod my head in whatever people say and whatever the thing was. Thankfully, our professors in the university, because they knew that there were more international students enrolled in the master's program as compared to the local students. But the thing was that they spoke in a way that was more understandable by a lot of people. So it was, I would say that it was a bit easier over there, but it was, yes, very, very hard a lot of times to understand the people in general, how they were communicating. And what I would say was a bigger challenge than doing the degree part was to move ahead in the society and just connecting with people and just understanding in general how the society worked. I think that was a bigger challenge as compared to English being a second language or something of that sort. Um, but yes, there were some really, really hard days.
And the reason I wanted to do this, just pretty much as soon as you joined, really, but the reason we're doing this is people in the UK that get access to education and funded degrees and can pretty much study it their whole life, totally funded, and achieve that. I want to put this into perspective for people of just how amazing an achievement this is. I want you guys to imagine you're going to go to Pakistan. You're going to do a master's degree. You're going to learn the language. What language would it be? Would it
It's Urdu.
Urdu. So you've got Urdu. Excuse my ignorance there. Just make sure I got my facts right. You have to learn another language to get a degree, to be immersed in the Pakistani culture, to go to a city you've never been to before. Not just that, but you're picking. If you'd went to England, the linguistics would have been a lot easier. Glaswegians, for him to met me here, watches this podcast. No, we talk very, very fast. We can be very aggressive. And the difference of coming to Glasgow for any overseas people and say, well, Glaswegians, there's no difference between a Glaswegian being friendly and aggressive. It's the exact same thing. It's like, how you doing? Sounds as if you're getting attacked when you step off the train or the airport, but we're actually being very friendly. So there's nuances. But imagine you going, and if you've got a degree, say, well, I've got a degree. Well, imagine going and getting one in Pakistan or a different culture or anywhere in the world, not just achieving it, but making the decisions to go to another country, and just the hassle that has, the comfort zones you're going to need to get pushed out to do it. So massively amazing, and that's why I think this is a really inspiring podcast, an interview. So let's come into what's the title of your degree now, or master's degree?
It's digital marketing management, like a master's in digital marketing and management as well, because they do teach you a few of the courses do revolve around the management system as well. So how you could take up managerial roles and what would be your work in terms of if you're not directly doing all of those digital marketing related things. So that's part of the course as well, but it's mainly just digital marketing management, which is a big part of the SEO, the paid marketing, and overall social platform management as well. So it's a three-way thing.
Super. We will come back to that again. Anybody looking to get into education and that career route, please ask some questions. And it's looking to get into digital marketing and that career, not the academic way, but the actual doing way. We'll come on to that later, because you had loads of knowledge that you did not get from university. I'm going to bring in some comments here and some questions. Excuse me, and that's that coffee. Claire is asking, congratulations, Maria.
Thank you.
What has been the best part of working for Pillow Partners with the marketing team so far?
There's so many of them. But I think the foremost one is that I got immense support from my marketing team and Pillow Partners in general, and that was something that I really, really required when I was so raw. Within the city and the country itself, I knew very limited people at that time. During that time, because English is not my first language and I've got a thick accent, so a lot of times I was not. In my mind, I thought that I was not able to convey what I wanted to, but my team was always so supportive in whatever that I wanted to do within the business. They were so flexible with me about my availability within the business, and they made sure that I knew and I was, how do you put it? See, now that when English is not your first language, you got to think in your language first and then process it. It never felt like that I was working here part time. I was equivalent to them as others were, so it was pretty nice. I got great support from my team, and I love them all.
Good. Again, one of the things when we chatted, why did we advertise the role that 30, 35 applicants you get an interview? And one of the reasons for me was that I don't know, the team we're in the west coast of Scotland here, guys, and it's the demographics of people that live in the west coast of Scotland is totally different from London or Birmingham or Manchester. And for me, someone like you coming in with different knowledge from overseas, different ways of doing things, not just another graduate coming in that's been to one of the universities and just sitting and being not being the same as everybody else. We wanted somebody to bring some new ideas, new thinking. You've been from the fashion background; it's not necessarily property, and I thought, well, that's just totally great and new for us. So the reason you get the job is because of those. I think they're a massive strength. So and it's been a great decision. Let's get a few more questions, and then we'll move on to what you do with Pillow and digital marketing. Philly, we're glad you've joined us here. How have you found the differences of working and studying between here and Pakistan?
Mm, that's a great question, and it really made me think about the differences. And sometimes I do really recall of how I did my undergrad back in Pakistan, and what's the difference over here. Uh, I do believe that here in the UK, Scotland in general, they provide you more real time situations. The case studies are more relevant to your degree. And during my master's program, there were a lot of industry leaders from all these big agencies and companies that were coming into and delivering their lectures that was so relevant and real time to the situations that you would be incurring or be experiencing when you go into the practical world, because what you study and what you get to do in real, those things are apart. There is a very very huge difference among those things, and people coming in from industry and giving you all of that knowledge is something that is quite valuable, and that I thought was not exactly that I had gotten back in my undergrad. You also tend to understand the different industries you could add value to or be part of, and hence could decide that where do you exactly fit. So that was one of the nicer parts here studying. You also do have a lot of freedom in terms of what ideas do you want to put forward, what exactly could your approach be. You're not restricted in that matter. There are so many ways, there's so many variations to which you could do your project or just present your work. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. There's also room for great creativity as well. And in general, I would just want to comment on the fact that people are way more professional over here in all of the capacities that I've met them. And they always want to extend a helping hand towards you, which is a great deal. Again, I would say is somebody who's so new to everything that the country has to offer.
Good. Again, not an academic. Not got a lot of experience. I've got college stuff, degree, master's degree. But what Scotland has a lot of faults, a lot of things we do wrong, a lot of things we're getting wrong at the moment. Again, particularly economically, lots of things. But one of the things I've always noticed from entrepreneurial educational background, especially Strathclyde University for its centre of entrepreneurship, lots of great programs, lots of passionate people, and I think definitely for entrepreneurship. Education, there's some great, we've got Glasgow University, that's good for some things like law and international students, Edinburgh Uni for other things, but I think Glasgow's a hub for entrepreneurship, which is what I know about, not fashion, clearly. But when it comes to that, yeah, I've seen the guys at Glasgow Uni and the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship, all the things they do there. So definitely, lots. It's one thing I think we definitely did get right for entrepreneurship. I've not been involved in the last 2 years in anything to do with Strathclyde Uni, but we definitely used to be getting that right. Milo works alongside, so we were all super happy. There's Milo saying, so proud of Maria getting a distinction. So I'll pick this next question and we'll move on to some other stuff. What first got you into marketing, and what did you want to do when you were younger?
I wanted to always be in marketing. And I was way too driven by the glitz and glam of fashion as well. That's why I chose fashion marketing and merchandising. I was too. I did my A levels in accounting and everything, but I was too scared of doing that. That was too bland and too boring for me. But I always knew that instead of the creative part of fashion, I would always be better and do well in the business side of fashion. So that's what my focus has always been. And hence, I choose fashion marketing and merchandising, a degree. I was exposed to a lot of fashion scene back in Pakistan. I've worked with a lot of e-commerce brands in Pakistan as well. uh, so it was pretty nice in there. And I think marketing and fashion just coincided for me and worked so well together that I really enjoyed that part of it. There was a lot of learning. I do believe that when you're at the e-commerce or the business side of fashion, there's so much learning in terms of what the trends are in marketing. You could apply all of that immediately into that industry as well, because they're doing so much. The audience that they're trying to reach is massive, while
Mhm.
you can build your own niche within those audiences in terms of the collections or the different kind of products or services that they're going to offer. But still, there is something that you could apply there and then, and it would still be so relevant to your business. So it was pretty nice in there. And it was nice to know sometimes when people were like, oh, you work in fashion and everything. So it gave a little nice factor to it, a little spice to it. So that's something that I always enjoyed as well.
Nice, much more glamorous fashion than perhaps renting the marketing of rented properties, but a nice crossover
Yeah.
where you're marketing a product, you're making something stand out above others. That fashion brand or item needs to capture the eyes of potential customers. They want to pick that over something else, and essentially that's what we do at Pillow. We want to get our properties out there, that wow picture, make them. Marketing principles are pretty much the same of stuff to a property, so definitely
I
applies.
mean, that's what I believed as well. When I came to the UK, I was not interested in working in fashion anymore. Uh, not as for now, because I thought that I had a good knowledge about fashion and how the e-commerce business ran and what practices they were doing in terms of marketing and digital marketing in particular. But I wanted to have more exposure and extend or transfer my skills to other industries as well. And I thought that there is no industry better than property management industry here in the UK, because it's one of the booming industries. And as well, you get so much more that you could do, and there are different things that you would learn within this business. So I just wanted that shift. The shift was such a conscious decision on my part, and I must say I'm pretty happy about that. I've learned so much more over here, because the kind of softwares that you use, the customer journey that you map out. For somebody who's interested in property management or serviced accommodation or all of these related services is so different to what we do in fashion and understanding that customer. And it really amazes me, and I think it added a lot of value to my own personal skills as well.
Perfect. Now, at the risk of you guys headhunting Maria and trying to pinch her off Pillow, I want to move on to the things you do with Pillow. I'd mentioned why, out of all the candidates, Maria stood out for me. It was a clear choice. Sorry if you were a candidate 6 months ago and you didn't get picked, but Maria's a superstar.
It's gonna
So
be a year,
a year,
not just
that's a
six
year.
months. The next month
So
is gonna be a year.
a year ago, time flies. So that was then, and the reasons for picking you, and it's worked well. Things I like now. When someone that's a part-time Guys, we are back. So improvise, adapt, and overcome is one of our mottos here at Pillow. So the rest of the team are out there. This is the Pillow boardroom. We're just going to jump back on. No fancy studio, but we don't need it. So we were starting to talk about what you do for Pillow, the ads and the other bits and bobs.
So as the bigger or like the holistic thing is, I'm responsible for all the paid media that we do. That includes Google, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. At the moment, we run paid ads through that. We're trying to get leads for our franchise business, as well as the host that we would be doing into the summer season as well. So I'm responsible for that. And there are other, I'm recently taken over the SEO and the blog posting as well, where I research and generate blogs that are relevant to our business in terms of getting a lot of organic traffic for the business and just overall building the repute of the business and helping find people information about service to accommodation and short-term rental business in general. We're looking to be part of a business, either they have an entrepreneurial spirit or just generally interested in looking for another income stream and be part of the service to accommodation scene here in London, here in the UK.
We say London because we sat at this desk before this, crafting out our ads for London, and actually this time on Monday, I believe we're going to go live again, but we're focusing on. What was the plan? What we're focusing on? What Maria's talking about there, all the hard work she's doing behind the scenes, no one will ever see. Our hosts, our customers, our guests, no one will ever see this really hitting the light of day. But I'll be going live next Monday. It's a framework we're going to share with you of what we use here at Pillow. It's the Plan Framework, PLAN. Make sure I get that right. Messing up a four-letter word would have been disastrous live. But that 4-letter plan, our framework for increasing direct bookings, host bookings by 20%. We believe each one of those 4 things will increase your bookings by 5% each. So tune in next Monday at 12:30. The reason I'm saying that is this 4-step framework, PLAN plan. It doesn't just happen overnight for us. It's easy for us to take each one of those 4 segments and get increased bookings, but it is because of the work behind the scenes. The reason we can get more bookings than one person with one owner, for example, is because the marketing team that sit out there do the stuff, the SEO, the blog posts, the ads, everything that drives us bookings to get guests. Now I'm digressing, but just to say when I deliver that next Monday, although I'll be me presenting, it's the team here at Pillow that do all of that, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's taken us a long time, and it's probably taken a year's worth of hard graft so that we are findable, searchable. It comes up when people are asking questions. Pillow will come up. The YouTube videos will come up. So lots of work behind the scenes, and sometimes it's invisible. Fancy stuff. Sometimes you'll see a post or an ad on social media and that's seen, but Maria's stuff is behind the scenes. So let's take a few final questions. We had a little break there to change venue. Let's get back into it. What inspired you to pursue marketing? We have covered. Was there a product or a company or brand that made you want to take the first step, apart from Scott's amazing fashion sense?
Is it
a product or a brand that you like?
Here in the UK or back home in Pakistan?
One each. Let's go for one each.
So when I started off, there is an Eastern wear brand called Generation. So they do a lot of disruptive marketing in Pakistan, and everything that they do is quite, it becomes a discussion, mostly in nicer words. So that was one of the brands at that time that really motivated me to become part of the industry. And I was just hoping one day that I would be able to work for the brand as well. And I was quite privileged, and I was very, very happy that when I was working for one of the agencies back home before coming to the UK, I was able to work with the brand and was able to generate great lots of sales for them. So they were really happy. And just to add that brand that I've always valued a lot and looked up to, had it on my CV, was something that I I'm really, really happy about and proud about. So that was one brand over there. Here in the UK, there was not exactly like a particular brand or like a service, because I did not know about the industry and where exactly did I fit. I knew that I wanted to work in a different industry as compared to fashion. But I mean, what I would say is that I was looking for something that really, really challenged my current skills, but also I was able to transfer my current marketing, digital marketing skills into that new business. And as I've said, that I think that me and our property management fit quite well. In that matter, I do have an understanding of how to develop leads and what exactly would be the target audience for a particular kind of business. And I've also learned it through time within my time in this business. So I think that is something that I particularly enjoy as well. But most importantly, I think that I was just lucky that I landed this job while I mean, it's so funny that we have a restaurant just beside our office, which is called Village Curry. I'm going to name it. And they didn't wanted me as a waitress over there or something like that. But just me being here and part of it, I think God has bigger plans for you and better things planned for you. And I just landed the job over here, I think 2 days after I was rejected by them.
I didn't know that. Oh, where we go? Oh, well, I would not be eating their curry, but that's
Yeah.
the bigger universe providing for you. Because
Yes.
if you'd done that, imagine you come in and needed to listen to our nonsense when we do the training here. We always go to the very village curry place. Just it's a nice place, but they
Yeah.
said no. They said no, didn't believe in you. That's their problem, and it's our gain. So
Yeah.
that is, guys. If you saw a few of the last podcasts, we went into a little bit of spiritual things, vibrations of the universe providing, and we can't understand it at the time. And being rejected for a job might be horrible, but actually, who knows? The universe works.
Manifest great things for yourself, and that shall happen to you, inshallah.
Definitely right. So I want to finish because you've got an inspiring story again. I will say again, guys. Imagine you from the UK heading to Pakistan, learning the culture, doing a degree, starting a job, making friends, finding out about everything there that you didn't know about for your first time. You're picking a city, and that city being super challenging with sweary, fast talking Glaswegians. So there will be people out there I know will be inspired from your story. If there are some younger people there, it's who we want to help here. Adults, you can sort yourself out. But younger people, maybe at school, leaving school, that are a bit apprehensive, a bit scared, maybe not wanting to do something and fail. What's some advice for young people getting into digital marketing, academic studies, even saying I'm just going to up roots and go traveling for a year or go to different parts of the world? So some final advice, please.
I think you should always know that if you would start manifesting one thing, it will happen for you, but you should also be able to put your utmost hard work in that. You should just start believing, you should start living that dream wherever you are, and just start living that, even if that has not been started for you, because it will happen for you. I got rejected from at least 45 jobs before I landed this one. So and I'm somebody who didn't know anybody over here, but I think it was just I was so persistent of getting something which was so relevant to my degree and making it work. And I think if I can, you can as well. I know it's a very cliche thing to do, but it's so true. It's just you need to keep on working hard towards that and believe and start living the dream there and then, that it has already happened to you and it shall sooner or later.
Listen, there's nothing I can say that's going to beat that, guy. So I will definitely finish on that. Thank you very much. Well done on your university results. That is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
We were all waiting in trepidation for that happening over the last week. So everybody's super proud. And again, a really inspiring story. Definitely listen to what Maria has to say and learn from it. If you want to get in touch, what is it, Maria at Pillow Partners. Maria, just Maria at Pillow Partners. If you're headhunting her, the spam filter will catch it. But how maybe the manifestation takes her to better places than Pillow. We are not scared of that. Everybody's on their own journey. But thank you very much for your time. We're going to go and plan some extra marketing now. We're going to go and do some cool ads and all the things that Maria has just been chatting about. We're literally going to go and implement this afternoon. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the comments.